All right. Yesterday, I told you that President Joe Biden has announced he will be seeking re-election in 2024. This, of course, did not go unnoticed by the failed former President Donald Trump, who seeks to be his party's nominee in 2024 and would, in theory, face off against Joe Biden, assuming Joe Biden wins the Democratic primary. Donald Trump massively, massively triggered, having a completely insane reaction, starting a 4-minute statement with many of his typical grievances and talking points about Joe Biden. Let's look at the beginning of this reaction. Then we'll look at some key moments. And then we will talk about Donald Trump being scared to debate seemingly now and flipping out over debates being scheduled without his approval. Let's first start with the beginning of Trump's reaction. Better lighting in this video, I will admit, to Joe Biden's announcement.
You could take the 5 worst presidents in American history and put them together, and they would not have done the damage Joe Biden has done to our nation in just a few short years.
To everybody who believes that, I challenge you to present data. Data, not conjecture. I challenge you to present data showing the damage Joe Biden has done.
Not even close. Thanks to Joe Biden's socialist spending calamity, American families are being decimated by the worst inflation in half a century. Banks are failing, our currency is crashing, and the dollar will soon no longer be the world standard, which will be our greatest defeat in over 200 years.
None of that is true. There's just none of it is true.
Real wages have been falling 24 months in a row. In other words, under Biden, workers have gotten a pay cut each and every month for 2 straight years.
Understand that real inflation adjusted wages also fell during periods of Trump's presidency. It's not a completely unique thing.
We have surrendered our energy independence.
We have not. Okay, so I'm going to pause it here. We have not surrendered energy independence. We're producing more oil than we're exporting more oil than we import. It's crazy what's going on here. Okay, so Trump just trotting out his standard lies. But then he got very apocalyptic. And he teased that more Biden will mean World War III. Now, remember, Trump's been predicting World War III if Hillary were to have gotten elected in 2016. He's been predicting World War III during Biden's first term. Hasn't happened. He's just always predicting World War III. But then he really unleashes on Joe Biden.
They say Trump was right about everything. Well, I'm not predicting World War III, but I will say this. We're very close, and they're only talking about nuclear weapons. On top of it all, Biden is the most corrupt president in American history.
Absolutely no evidence of that.
And that's not even close. Nobody can believe what's going on, with, again, no retribution whatsoever. With such a calamitous and failed presidency, it is almost inconceivable that Biden would even think of running for re-election. You know what happened in the last election?
Yeah, Biden won.
They cheated and they rigged the election.
So, in all honesty, my friends, does anyone really expect Trump to be saying anything different? It's been lies about the Biden administration from day one. It's been lies about the 2020 election from day one. What else does Trump have? What can Trump retreat to? There is nothing there. And so this is what we're going to see. And by the way, continuing with the transphobia, saying children are being mutilated.
Our children are being indoctrinated and mutilated by left-wing freaks and zealots.
I'm struggling to believe that that is actually what is going on. And of course, it isn't. Expect a lot of this. And Donald Trump is now in a tizzy, partially because a guy named Ron DeSantis didn't rule out running against Trump and may announce his campaign. And that infuriates Trump because it's not a sign of loyalty. And I'll be honest, to some degree, the reason Trump is triggered about Biden running again is Biden beat him in 2020. And Trump, no matter what he says publicly, knows if he beat me in 2020, he could beat me again. And the question for Trump is, given that he lost in 2020, how can he gain ground on Joe Biden in 2024? Trump's arrest and indictment may well help him with Republican voters. It's not helping him in the general election. And so the mathematical problem for Trump is you look at the map and you look at the results of 2020, then you say, well, you know, a lot of these states, Arizona certainly hasn't moved to the right since 2020. Wisconsin hasn't moved to the right since 2020. Florida has, but Trump won Florida, so that doesn't get him any additional electoral votes. So Trump realizes it's a difficult map. And whether you believe Trump believes it was stolen or not, Trump knows if you replicate 2020 in 24, it doesn't look particularly good for Trump. And so Trump is scared. And the other thing he seems scared about is debating. Let's talk about that next. By now, all of us know how creepy it is to talk to a friend about something and then get ads that are related. When you use a free email service from a big tech corporation, your emails are scanned, even if you're emailing your spouse or your doctor, which is why I recommend StartMail, the email service that never scans or analyzes your email. Our sponsor, StartMail, also lets you create unlimited email address aliases, so you don't even have to give out your real email address. This protects you from spam and phishing attacks. Phishing attacks are becoming way more sophisticated with the rise of ChatGPT, by the way. StartMail lets you encrypt any email you send, even if the recipient isn't using encryption. Unlike the big tech email services who store even your deleted emails, when you delete an email in StartMail, it is gone. Migrating from your current email service to StartMail is just a few clicks. So what are you waiting for? Stop letting big tech corporations spy on your email. My audience gets 50% off your first year at startmail.com/Pacman. The link is down below.